What's up everybody, it's Kiyodo and welcome back to another SMT Dx2 video. Today we're doing more gacha pulls and this time we're checking out a Reaper banner with only 2 Reapers on it, which is pretty insane actually. And I did want to check out the rates on this because I knew some people were complaining about it. And they were saying that the rates were 0.5% for the 5 stars, and I don't know if they changed that really quickly or not, because from what I'm seeing, it's still 1%, even though each individual Reaper is only 0.5%, but I mean, that's pretty normal, right? Especially for 2 demon banners, and also because this is a Reaper banner, and Reaper banners tend to be relatively rare, and also have pretty broken demons. So yeah, I can see why they put the rate at only 1%, and I knew that some people were getting a little bit disappointed that it's not 3% like we used to have some of those banners. But yeah. I do think that the Reapers are a relatively good trade for 1%, and you probably don't want to be facing too many of these guys, because the 3% banners have demons that are just ridiculously common, and they can be extremely good demons, like Mother Harlot or Rama, for example, is just flooding the meta right now, so I don't know if that's what you want on the Reapers, because Reapers can be really crazy. So one thing I did want to point out though, so here's the 4 stars, the Reapers here, 1% chance of each, though we're really looking to pull Persephone because 4-star Persephone is super amazing. Basically your revive counter. And we see so many Ricarmdras and Kayakado's returns in this game that you might as well have Persephone if you can, which would be awesome. So that's why we're pulling on this banner. We're going to be doing 2 10 pulls, but also I do have some other summons to go through. So we're going to go through all these superior summoning files. I have 4 of these guaranteed 4-star summons for some reason. And we have Hellbuns, so we're looking into that. And yeah, we're going to be going from top to bottom as usual. So first we're going to start off with the paid featured summon banner. Let's go ahead and do it. 2 tries because honestly I'm still waiting for Masakado. And Masakado would be super amazing. So would Orcus too, because I'm waiting for a banner with... Wait a second. Did we just pull the best color? Did we just pull Ixtab on the best color? With the best gacha transferable skill? Oh my god. What in the hell? And it has a Hashi Baboon! Oh my god. Oh my god. This... I don't even know if I've ever pulled a featured demon on a summon banner before. It's always been something else. But what in the hell? So there's a discussion going on between which Ixtab you should build, because there's 2 ways that you would probably build Ixtab, and with this yellow, I think it is best to level it up all the way to max so that you can use Mahashi Baboon, and the Insanity too, which is just, whew, oh my god, amazing by the way. So wow, yeah, people would normally level up to max the yellow version of Ixtab because it has the Great Awakening skill, but also, there are versions where you only use a level 1 Ixtab to try to bait AI into attacking you, or also just stop people from using AoEs, because if they use an AoE, then it just kills off their demon, right? Unless they have Hong Long for some reason, they just happen to beat out everything that you have and get 5 elements plus the kill off, which I guess could happen, but it's not very often. I'd say it's situational. So honestly, I think I'm going to go for the max level on this Ixtab, and just, wow! Wow, like never happens. Oh my god, another Reaper and 4-star. Okay, I don't think anybody really uses Chernobog. This is the innate skill here, the unique one. When enemy is weakened, reduce all enemy evac by 20% and 100% chance to inflict poison. So you do poison them for sure. You decrease their chance to hit, and I guess evade too, if that's any big deal. But if you have Chernobog plus Nergal, which I'm assuming, then you probably won't be using this that much. It's kind of a weird skill, and it does definitely work with Nergal, but poison is just not that good, unfortunately. So I'll probably be keeping this for the collection, but it's no Persephone, unfortunately. But we did get an Ixtab, so holy moly, man! First pull too, and a purple Makara with Mind Break. Wow, today is just amazing, ain't it? Well, for me, I don't know about your guys' day. I hope it was like at least somewhat decent, and I know some people are going, it's completely opposite than that Kiyodo. But yeah, I guess I don't always get great days. In fact, this is probably the best day I've had in a long time. Oh my god, what a pull. So yeah, let me go on about my little rant about the rates on banners. So a lot of gacha games do have their 5-star ratings for their pool at 1%. So I'd say that is very, very common. Although some games do criticize and kind of make fun of their players for complaining about 1% banners, and I feel like that kind of like works together in a way because, you know, they're complaining about something that's really actually kind of fair. So getting up. Oh my god. Oh my god. We just pulled both of the 5 stars on this banner. And I'm still on the first multi-pull. What is going on? 80% chance to inflict a weak. Yep, that is extremely good. And we can reduce the cost, so I don't know if you need to really reduce the cost on this guy, because yeah, it can cost 5. But do you need it to cost 5? I mean, you could use Divine Brands if you really want to. Although you don't have to because it's Nergal, and that's pretty much all you use it for is Plague of Babylon. So Mizzle MT increases accuracy when you enter... Oh, when the enemy is poisoned. Okay, so even more so for Chernobog and Nergal to work together. But you don't really need to increase your accuracy that much, especially because I think that Nergal's supposed to be a physical attacker. But honestly, it's more of a support, just straight up support. So, yeah, I feel like I'm just gonna build this guy not like tanky, but like fast, maybe dodgy in a way, so that in case the opponent goes first, I'll still be able to dodge and then use Plague of Babylon. But wow, oh my god. And I know I was just ranting about those rates being bad at 1%, but we just pulled both 5 stars. One in their ultimately best color. Oh my god. Okay, well, I'm still going to be pulling the other 10 because I said I would. And, wow. Yeah, we're still waiting on Persephone, I guess, but we can always get that in another Reaper banner. But I guess there's no complaints for getting something out of this. So, if I get no 4 stars, I probably can't be that mad. Because I totally deserve to get nothing in this next set of 10. So, no Golden Lightning to start off, which... we're assuming that it's not going to have one, right? So yeah, back to the whole 1% thing. Yeah, it is very common to have 1% on a gacha game banner for 5 stars, and you don't want to have that many 5 stars out there destroying people's teams. It's like, yes, it's good for the whales to pay for that because they basically pay for our whole game to stay alive. But also, you don't want to have, like, common players getting lucky, you know, or just people who reroll a lot to get super lucky and getting these amazing 5 stars, right? So, you gotta think about it that way, too. It's kind of like a way to keep too many people from having the most OP things in the game. Otherwise, the meta would definitely shift to having maybe, like, two to maybe, like, 4 or 5 teams, max. Because, honestly, the meta feels like that is kind of true right now, and... having so many demons that are, or having so few demons that are really, really good, that it doesn't matter what team you put them on, makes it kind of a little bit hard to switch around your teams. It kind of locks you into this meta where if you're in the in-game, when you're fighting the best players in the top 100, you kind of gotta have the best demons in order to do that, and brands too, for example, but the demons do matter a lot because the innate skills can make or break a demon, along with the weaknesses on them too, if you're not going first. But it's definitely a way to keep people from just getting blown out of the water, and from keeping new players from just avoiding PvP entirely, because PvP is honestly the majority of this game, honestly. There's not really any PvE elements that are random enough for you to keep playing it over and over and over and still stay interested. Because now we do have random PvP, which is a thing. And random PvP is nice. I feel like it's a great change. It didn't have to have the bonus points on them, but it does. And that's, I guess, kind of nice. Kind of a bonus for doing the random, in a way. But random PvE would be really cool too. And if it had some sort of benefit, like nothing major, something that you could work towards in maybe like a month or 2 months even. Like if you could farm and hardcore grind out a random PvE like mode, and it got you something actually really good, like comparable to a 5-star, then maybe that would be okay. That could actually be an awesome system. So I guess that they are kind of interested, the developers anyways, are kind of interested in making that sort of random PvE element. They're just not really sure how to bring about it. Like what kind of things that you want in there. And I know for sure that I want to have not just the gacha skills, like the transferable skills, different. I want the innate skills different as well. Kind of like how they have the Kiwami battles set up, where the innate skills are different from the actual demons. And that could actually make for some crazy content there. Ooh, I actually needed a purple Scotty because I'm going to be building something in the future. I'll show you guys that later. It's a secret, but purple Scotty is a necessary fusion element, directly fuses into this, and that is your only hint. So, yeah, I was saying that, like, you know, it's really just, you gotta, I don't know, fuck it, like, what was I saying? Like, honestly, you just gotta play the game to play the game, and learning that, you know, like, what kind of PvE demons really are a pain in the butt. And if you put a lot of pain in the butt demons, just like sprinkle them in there, not make it incredibly impossible like some Kiwami battles are, then a random PvE element could be good. Because in that way, it's sort of like a marathon where you can just keep going until you die. Maybe your skills don't have a limit, for example, like Morningstar only has 3 uses, and even other skills like the healing, Media Arahan, Media Rama, they have like 8 or 9 uses or something like that. So if you could maybe like remove that or increase the cap, for example, or at least space the difficulty based on something like that, or have like a reset in between waves, like 5 or 10 waves of demons or something, where you could get all your skills back, then maybe that'd be okay, you know, like, that could be an awesome mode. You would have to tweak the amount of uses on the skills. You would have to tweak the innate and the gacha skills on the AI at least. You probably would need to tweak the AI as well in order to be more consistently not stupid, for example. That would be a thing. Like, not attacking into, like, Repel Fizz, for example. That would probably be a big deal and really good for AI in general, because that shouldn't just be in PvE, that should be in PvP as well. So other elements I would include. Maybe you could give null skills instead of the, like, regular resistance skills on, per se, 1-star, 2-star, 3-star demons, because they don't really have too many resistances within the 1 to 3-star group. 4 stars tend to have a little bit more, but then again, they are a little bit more balanced. I feel like the 4 stars are in the balanced range, versus where the 5 stars can be really broken. Or it's like, they can be really broken, but they can also be really, really bad for a 5-star. Like pulling Kuhulain in the wrong color, in teal. Man, that's a thing that happens. But, like, besides that, the 4 stars are relatively balanced, so maybe they could throw in a bunch of those guys. And maybe they can throw in some demons that were from the events, like the Halloween Jacks. That'd be pretty cool too. Or even the alternative versions, like Nekomata. Or maybe you'll have to fight a boss wave with alternative Shiva, which would be insanely difficult, but also something that you should be able to fight. And it shouldn't be as hard as a Kiyomi battle, because when you're in like wave 20, for example, you probably don't want to be fighting an overly powered alternative Shiva. But it could be at least challenging to the point where you might need some hard counters. At least like one hard counter, you know, like that'd be cool. And it would create its own meta. Like, we'd definitely have to have supports that can heal, probably people that can do mass revives and not die, or at least somebody else that has a revive to heal the Rekarmcha user. Then you'd probably need some DPS so that you don't stall out and die. And you'd probably have a flex position from there. Like, flex positions would probably be some sort of like Makara Karen, 5 elements, something like that. Even Tetra Karen could be useful in certain cases. Or somebody with Silent Prayer or Prayer. And with that, I feel like Prayer should be a skill that you can fuse. Or at least pull without having to get like the specific skill genome. Because I'm not really sure how many demons have Prayer. I feel like it's only 1, maybe like 2 currently. But there's not many demons that have Prayer on them, or Silent Prayer for that matter. So it would be nice to have some sort of version of Prayer to be available to everybody, so that these ailment teams don't just run people over. And that could be good, because Silent Prayer is a little bit broken in a sense, but Prayer only helps your team. So in a way, it is better and worse in certain cases, but I feel like it is something that should be available to the public. And that would probably make PvP less aggravating, but also PvE would be a little bit more consistent without having to know the exact matchup. And that's also the main thing about having the random PvE element is you shouldn't know what the matchups are going to be. You should always be random. There should be like a scale of difficulties, so you can have 2 stars at like a easy difficulty and the hell difficulty, but they should have different skill sets. And that's where the innate skills change from having like resists into nulls, drains, repels, you know, something like that. That would be actually kind of interesting. And you might give them something like Auto Sakuka, you know, like just instead of their main dumb skills like Bufu, for example, if they're not using that normally. So like, yeah, it would require some tweaking. It probably requires certain demons to be allowed and certain demons not. But you could also put some jerkish combinations together, like having an all, like, remember the Abraxas team from Argate? Having something like that where they all have Makara Karen, and they like pretty much all have Repel Fizz too, so you have to have some sort of resistance to that. Like, some way around it. Either you'd have Fizz Pierce or some sort of almighty skill. So it would kind of lock you in where you would lose some very, very cheap battles. But I feel like PvE, especially random PvE, should have some of those elements. And you should try to cover, like, most of them. But you shouldn't be able to cover every single option. You should be able to cover, like, 90% of them. Maybe. Maybe that's a little too high, even. Like, 80% for sure. That could be a cool element. So I know I'm blabbering on about this whole random PvE thing because this is something that was actually just brought up to me very recently, but it is something that I feel like the community should start talking about and give the developers some sort of idea on what we want as players. Because we kind of know what we want, you know? Like, some people don't know what they want. I know what I want from a game, and I can totally tell you, but it's not like they're going to take just one person's advice. We need the whole community to tell them what everyone would like. You know, at least if we keep saying the same things that we do like, there's a chance that they'll catch on and say, you know, like 50% of the community really likes this thing, and maybe we should just add it. And that could be a way to spur new content. Because honestly, I will be truthful with this, we are kind of at a standstill, especially with all these collaboration events. It's very, very repetitive on the way that they're doing things, and having them last like 3 weeks long is probably not that good, especially when there's only 2 actual 5-star demons. But if there's 3, then I guess you could do 3. But the banners that they've been splitting up, especially for the Devil May Cry banner, was just really, really weird. The Bayonetta banner is actually more decent in the rates and like the way that the schedule was set up, but the rates, obviously, I mean the demons themselves obviously could have been better. So that's a little bit unfortunate in that end. Moving on to the 4 stars. I know I've been blabbering on about this for a while, but also I need your ideas on what we can do to make a random PvE element, because the developers look like they're interested, and if they're interested, that means that we should totally try to help them and make this a reality. That'd be really awesome. Wow, 2 golden lightnings in a row. And another Jeanne d'Arc! Oh boy, I'm not gonna have them in every single color, because I actually like red a lot, because red comes with Judgment. Judgment with the 8 cost as an awakening skill. I think it goes down, yeah, you can make it 7 cost too, not like you really need to do that with Judgment, because it's only there to really increase your own party's attack, and that's pretty awesome as is, because you also get Orlean Prayer. Orlean Prayer is also good. And to keep this person from getting ailmented, probably put some sort of mask on there. Bing bang boom, pretty good. 3 gold lightnings in a row! Oh my god. You know what, I'm really dumb, because this is the 4-star guaranteed, and someone's gonna point that out to me and say, Kiyodo, how could you not have noticed that earlier? And it's because I was blabbering about stuff that had me interested, which is random PvE. And also because people were complaining about the rates. 1% is very common. To have 3% was very, very weird. Let me tell you that. It is not something that you see in a lot of gacha games for 5-star pools, and people were actually very jealous of us because of that. Now to mention that, not a lot of the demons in those 5-star pools were that game-breaking, except for like Rama Harlot. So I guess there's that. Trumpeter kind of is really good too. So I know we've had some 3% banners of that too, but it's not as devastating to have per se like an Alice or a Thor or a Huanglong. These are just things that people have. Uh-oh. No. Oh my goodness. Don't scare me like that! God dang it. That happens every single time. And we have a golden circle for the Hell Buns. Wow, what kind of clear 4-star are we getting today? Because you know it's a 4-star. At least we got 2 of the same demon, because that's a rarity. Not like that really matters or anything. But what do we get? Unicorn. Oh, not unicorn. Sorry! That's not a unicorn. I must have miscounted the legs. I must not be feeling very well today. But that's actually really good for fusion. Clear especially. So maybe I could use that. I might use it for just a light boost even. Who knows? And the third virtue! Wow! Wow, I needed those for nothing. Thanks, game. So yeah, I mean, like, maybe if they put more 3 stars and 4 stars that were decent, then I guess it wouldn't be so bad to pull those and people wouldn't be complaining so much. But then again, there's a chance that some people get really lucky and pull all the good 3 and 4 stars and then other people will still complain. So yeah, it's always going to be some sort of complaint. What the game developers can do is poke fun at those people. And I feel like the community is doing that already by making fun of those people for complaining. Man, back in my day, we never had 3%. We've always been stuck with 1, and we were happy to maybe have that much. And remember when the superior summoning files were only 0.5% for the 5 stars? Man, that was a big bonus. Having 1% was huge because that got me most of my 5 stars superior summoning files. So, I mean, like 1%, it does take, you know, more than you would think, but it is still a decent rate, and it allows the whales to at least buy them, but not the common player. So in that case, it keeps the game somewhat balanced, at least above the top 100. So if you're trying to force your way into there, maybe even like the top 500 can be difficult, but at least that's achievable, whereas the top 100 is a lot of whales. But even within that, you can still get into the top 100 without any of the OP demons. You can get there with all fusibles, and I've actually done that myself. So, you know, it is possible. It's just a matter of who's playing at the time, what's the meta, and if you get lucky and if you play enough. Because playing enough, like really time, is the main thing that keeps you from a good team and a bad team. Because brands are probably the biggest deal, honestly, and even the best players in the game don't have the best brands in the game. So think about it that way. If you do happen to pull some really good brands from just farming and grinding it out, you will do just fine. And honestly, that's how it kind of is for me. I don't have the most OP things in the world, and I've been doing okay with just that. You know, it doesn't mean that you get into the top 10, top 100 all the time, but you can definitely get there with effort and hellbills, which is something that I don't use that very often. So tell me what you think about random PvE, and also what you think about the 1% banner rates, because personally I think they're relatively even, relatively fair. But I know it's not the way that everybody thinks, and everyone has their own perspectives. Thus, I'd like to hear what your thoughts are and ideas, and definitely I want to know if you have anything for the random PvE mode, because that could be really crazy. So this is Kiyodo, I'll see you on the next one. Later.